So when we were planning for this episode, you kept bringing up that you want to talk about TikTok therapists. I had no idea what you're talking about. So yeah, go for it. What is a TikTok therapist?
So, a TikTok therapist is a content creator, often with no clinical credentials or degrees or anything, that basically posts content to scale that is around medical kind of advice, right? Something to think about because there's probably listeners as well that potentially do know what it means and go, yeah, of course. Like I listen to my TikTok therapist all the time, which is very normal. I hear the phrase, my TikTok therapist said this, XYZ. Let's just remember that they don't have access to any of your health records. They don't, they're not giving you customary advice. They don't know what you've been through. They are talking on basically making something up that one shoe fits all. And good example of this is this horoscope effect or psychic effect. And I don't know if you've heard about that. Have you heard of that?
No. So paint the picture on what the type of content is because it's
Mhm.
interesting you're going to talk about this aspect of horoscopes because you are a horoscope person. So for you to come out and critique it a little bit, I'm starting to think, where is this going to go?
Eh, Horoscopes, in my opinion, is one for a different episode, but I agree. This part of it is where I do not agree. And that is the horoscope effect is essentially when you just see on your timeline someone in that field basically saying, thank you for joining. If you've joined and you have someone in your family that has the letter E in their name, and you saw a tree on the way to work, and you bumped into a number plate that had three sevens in it and saw this car, and it's a like the chances of you doing that is 80%. Of course you would see that. So then as a
Mm.
listener, you go, oh my God, they must be so real because they've claimed that. So for example, a TikTok therapist might go, if you're not feeling productive today and you didn't do much, you've got ADHD. Because of
Wow.
course
So they
that
actually try to diagnose people.
well, because that's a symptom, right? But if you're not having a productive day, there are so many other factors that could contributed to that. I
Yeah,
will
that's
say
right.
on the other side of it, TikTok has helped some people. I know that we've seen comments where people have commented about children and said, hey, you should go check that mole on your back or that kid's thing. And it has helped. But those are the really, really rare cases, right? What is scary is that about 1 in 6 Gen Zs use TikTok as their primary search engine tool for health for health
Mm.
answers and questions. So we're using a platform where their majority of the time isn't these health experts, or they don't know you enough to know what advice to give you. And we're using that as gospel and as Bible. And that's what's kind of scary to me and why we're probably normalizing. I'm all for normalizing mental health and we should, and it's so great that this generation is. But now this is going back to the root of what this topic is are we overdoing it? Are we overdiagnosing? Are we using it as a bit of a scapegoat? I mean, you hear
Yeah.
terms like, oh, we trauma bonded, I'm being gaslit, they're a narcissist, as terms that are clinical terms, but they're used for everyday open conversation. And I know what
And
you mean
people
by
might
that.
not know what it is.
Exactly. But they're health terms. They're not terms that should just be used to say, "Oh yeah, that's so traumatic," which it is, or I have PTSD. But do we really know what PTSD is? Why are we just making this term okay, like a general word that we're just using to describe things?
Yeah. And I think the commonality of something diminishes its impact. So when so many people are coming out and saying, I have PTSD, I have ADHD, I have such and such. Well, if so many people are saying it, it can make others feel like, well, either A, this is such a minuscule mental illness because every single person has it. And when I look at you, you're fine. You're just
Mm.
having it as a behavioral characteristic of yourself. Or the other option is, what is the root problem of this? why are so many people feeling like they have PTSD or ADHD?